Welcome back to the Teach the Children podcast. I'm your host, Laura Battles. And this last weekend, I started doing some of my initial prep work for the fall, some initial planning. And as I was planning, I thought, I bet there are other moms out there starting to do their planning for the fall and the spring. So I thought I'd hop on here and give you guys some of the things that I have done and are doing that have just helped me plan every fall. Real quick, before I get too much into it and before I forget, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Teach the Children Homeschool Resource Center, Teach the Children TC. Also, like and subscribe to this channel. It just helps get this podcast out into the podcast world. And also check out hfw.network. It's a part of the podcast network that I'm a part of. And there's some great other podcasts you guys can listen to on there. All right. Back to the show real quick. All right. So how do I do planning? For the past, I would say about 3 years now. Ever since we've become independent, we do what I call a 6-week on, 1 week off schedule. And we do that pretty much year round. In the summer, we take a little bit longer of a break. We take more of a break. We stop a lot of what we're doing and we just all just relax and don't really dive too deep into anything. But much like how, if you believe the Bible, much like how the Bible is set up, God created the earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh. Much like how a lot of people's work week is, you work 5 days, you take 2 days off. I structure our homeschool much the same way. So we do 6 weeks on and 1 week off. And then we do another 6 weeks and then 1 week off. I do try to plan around holidays. So this fall, I'll start 6 weeks and do the seventh week. And that gets us right into around the October timeframe. And as we know, in the fall, there's a lot of holidays. And so I can't do another full 6-week chunk with a 7th week off. So I do plan around, we take Thanksgiving break off. We take most of December off from heavy subjects. We still will do a few things. But come the springtime, especially spring and even early summer, we do go 6 weeks on, 1 week off, 6 week on, 1 week off. And that really just helps us be able to dig deep into a subject for 6 weeks, but also know there's light at the end of the tunnel. And on that 7th week, we rest, especially my children. I will rest from doing most things. We'll still do Bible study, but otherwise everything else is just put on pause. And what I do try to do is, because I plan for those 6 weeks, I can really look at the big picture for those 6 weeks and say, we're going to start at lesson 1 and we'll get to lesson, say, 30. And then there's a natural break there. Now, if there's a natural break at lesson in a subject in lesson 25, we'll stop there, even though we may have an extra week of school and we'll do a bunch of review. Say with math, we'll do a week of math review, or with language arts, there's a natural stop there. We'll stop early. So I do try that allows those 6 weeks for me to really be able to take a big picture view and then plan accordingly. So that's my first tip. I would recommend planning for a big chunk of time. And then week to week, I go in and I just review real quick before I print off my lesson plans for the week and go from there. So that way I don't have to every Sunday night have to plan for the next week. I have it all done. I go in, make a few tweaks. Maybe an appointment came up, so we can't do all the work that I had planned on a Tuesday because now we have doctor's appointments. I can readjust, fix things, and then move forward. It gives us a lot of flexibility. So with that, I also plan each week. I make sure I look at my calendar and say, okay, so this week we have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday morning. Can't have a ton of work on Tuesday. So all we're going to do Tuesday is like our morning basket, or maybe then it will switch to the afternoon. So we'll call it our afternoon basket. Maybe all we do on Tuesday is Bible study and math. Let's say on Friday, we were doing Meals on Wheels. And so I would do, if there was a math test that week, our math test would always be on Fridays, because then it's something new. They can do the math test and they can do it independent while I help us get ready to get out the door to do Meals on Wheels. On Friday, I also don't do a lot of penmanship. I don't do a lot of hands-on me teaching them new subjects or new ideas. They just are doing their independent work and going from there. So what I do, and you can do this a myriad of ways. I know that Sunlight provides planners, and I have looked at those Sunlight curriculum planners, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They go into depth of like meal plans, your weekly plans, what your family's reading. If you're in a state that requires you to keep track of hours, it helps you keep track of hours. All those different things. It's a little bit overwhelming for me because we do, especially now that I am starting the resource center, there has to be a lot of flexibility in our schedule. So that is just overwhelming to me. But if that is not overwhelming to you and you're thinking about like, I really need to be planned, I have a lot of kids, they're going different directions, I'm trying to meal plan, I would recommend going out and grabbing that Sunlight curriculum planner. It's on their website. You can even go through my affiliate link and check that out. And it's wonderful. I know a lot of families who use it and they rave about it. What I have created over the past 6 years, and this has evolved, is a little, and if you're on YouTube, you'll see this. It's a piece of paper and I just do it in Word document. You can do this in Canva. You can do this in Excel. I know a lot of people like spreadsheets. This is what we do. And it lists all the subjects on one side, the days of the week across the top, the date and the week number we are on. And I just save this. I have all of mine from all the years that we have been homeschooling saved on the computer and backed up on the cloud and or wherever else that is saved. That way, if for whatever reason someone were to ask me what I did on week 32 in year 2023, I can go pull it up. No one will probably ever ask me that question, but just in case, I have it available. So this just is my way of planning each week. So when I go to plan for our big chunks of time, I will do weeks 1 through 6 on here. It has all the different things that we touch. It goes into depth a little bit more than maybe some people are wanting to do. But that's also because I can have my kids go to this piece of paper, pick it up and say, hey, Mom, what am I supposed to be doing for my independent work? And I can say, well, your independent work is Explode the Code and your penmanship. And they can go pick up those 2 books, look at this piece of paper, and know exactly what they're supposed to be doing for that day or for that week. Some of my kids like to do all their work on Monday and they just blow through it. Some of my kids like to space it out, but this way they can see the plan for the whole week and know what they're doing. It also has on here what books they are to be reading and what pages specifically. And then it has what we're doing in our morning basket time. So that would include spelling, grammar, Bible study, and I think and history. We do history together. So it has all that stuff. This year, our co-op is for the first time is doing Washington State history. And then I'm going to also go more in depth at home. I don't know all what that looks like, but that will probably be a lot of what is done in our morning basket time. So that will also be included in there to some degree. But that is just how I keep track of our weeks. Right now, you can see I've done week 1 and I've done week 2. Week 3, we're going to Yellowstone, so I won't write up anything for that week. When I come back from Yellowstone, I will do 4, 5, and 6, and then we will, I'll take a break, evaluate how far we've come, and then start all over again there. And I'll probably plan the whole fall and up until Christmas time, just because for me, opening up the resource center, I need to be able to just know that my homeschool plan is done. And once you get this up and running, it becomes very automated. So I don't even really think about all that I have to do during the week. If my kids come to me and they're like, oh, Mom, what am I supposed to be doing? I can just say, refer back to the plan. It's awesome. We all enjoy doing this. So no one is ever like, oh my gosh, you didn't tell me I had to read pages 9 through 15 this week in my reader. I can just be like, well, it's on there. You know where to go look for it, and you can go pull it up. So I know some people do 4 weeks. They do month-to-month planning. If you are working through like HomeLink or MCP, they like to see your weekly plans. And so this is also a great way for you just to be able to refer back to what you've done in case you forget. I forget what I did yesterday a lot of times. So this is a great way for me to go, hey, yesterday we did do lessons 1 and 2 and this and this. And then I can easily refer back to that. And if you have to write up any kind of notes, they're just right there available for you to easily write up and have at your disposal. Again, I use Word. Canva has a ton of free products out there you can use. If you want to use Excel, if you're really liking Excel spreadsheets, use that. Again, Sunlight has a planner. I know lots of curriculums have their own planner, and I would just find one that works best for you and then play around with it. If you find that 4 weeks is too short, then plan for 6 weeks. If you find that 6 weeks is too long, go back and plan for 5 weeks. This is the wonderful joy of homeschooling, is that you get to plan and do what's best for your family. And this individualizes. This is why homeschooling is amazing in that individual aspect, is that every family is a little bit different. I will also say I do have a plan on this piece of paper. Sometimes it doesn't work. Plans are just that, and they are going to get changed. You have an unexpected doctor's visit. Someone winds up in the hospital and you need to go visit them. Maybe you're doing a community service project and they need you an extra day. The joy of this is that I can easily change things around and say, hey, you know what? This week we didn't get to lesson 68. I'm going to bump it to next Monday and we'll just go from there, move forward. But at least then you know where you're at and you're like, hey, did I do lesson 68? Did I not do lesson 68? Oh my goodness, where are we at? Your kids are, of course, like, I didn't want to do lesson 68, so I'm going to tell Mom we didn't do it. That never happens in my house. Hope you can sense I'm joking. But it just keeps very good track of everything we are doing. So I hope that helped a little bit with the planning, and that you guys find some tips from this. I will say, coming up here soon, the Resource Center will be opening this fall. Be on the look out for a grand opening, the schedule of some classes. If you're interested in teaching a class, reach out to me or drop a comment in the notes below, and just say, hey, you know what? I can teach a logics class. I can teach a Spanish class, whatever it may be. Let me know and we can discuss all about that. The Resource Center, if you haven't heard, will be located out in West Richland, and we are super excited. So as you drive around West Richland, stop by. We are across the street from the subway on Van Giesen, right next to Talos Tactical in that strip mall. And I'll be getting a sign up there soon, so you'll be able to see it and come in and just say hi. I don't know store hours yet. We're going to, again, just much like planning, we're going to plan and see how it works and reevaluate. So store hours may fluctuate in the beginning to see what works best for myself and for the store and for the homeschool community at large. I am super excited to be bringing this store to you all, this Resource Center. I will have some books available for you guys to purchase. There will be other things available for you to look at, to research which curriculum works best for your family before you go out and purchase. So that's the part I am super excited about, is that we will finally have a place where you guys can come in and say, you know what, I want an all-in-one program, but I don't want to spend the money without having it hands-on, touching it. And so I'll have that there available in the Resource Center. If you guys know of curriculum that you want to donate, or, families that are looking to donate curriculum and they're just going to swing it by, Goodwill, bring it to the store and let me look through it first to see if it's maybe something that our homeschool community could use. On that note, Thank you guys so much for all your support and for tuning in each week to these podcasts. I hope you have a good rest of your summer, and I'll see you all next week.